Hey, just another quick movie review today, talking about Platoon. It's a movie that I'd never seen before, and I just have to say that I absolutely love this movie, and I was not expecting to. I couldn't believe that there was a movie from the 80s where I was actually astonished by the things happening on screen, that I was actually surprised by. You know, when it comes to older movies compared to newer movies, like when you're somebody who has seen a lot of newer movies, a lot more than older movies, and then you go back to those older movies, you start to be like, this feels familiar, I've seen this before. And it's because, you know, obviously all the newer movies have copied those older movies. And that's a thing that I experience sometimes when I'm going back to watching older movies for the first time. And often, because of that, that makes me not like the older movies as much as I think that I could have. Because what was once groundbreaking has now become a trope. With that being said, Platoon surprised me. I didn't exactly know fully what it was about other than just being a war movie. And I didn't really know heaps about it. And boy, let me just tell you, I was surprised as well by all the actors in it. I'm like, geez, every second there's a famous actor that you recognize. Forrest Whitaker was in this. John C. McGinley from Scrubs was in this, and he's basically just Dr. Cox. Johnny Depp was in it for like 2 seconds. Charlie Sheen, who is the main character. The only actor that I knew about being in this movie was Willem Dafoe, and I only knew that because of the scene where he is dying, which I had seen before. That's the only scene that I knew from the movie. But something that I wasn't expecting about it was that that's in the middle of the movie. He dies in the middle of the movie. That's not like the climactic ending, which was very surprising as well. But no, I love this movie because it actually brings a certain sense of, this isn't a patriotic movie where you're like, yes, the Americans, they're just clearly the good guys. Go them, fuck everyone else. It's not like that at all. They commit some horrendous acts in this movie, and it's actually pretty damn disturbing. And throughout the movie, you start to question who the real enemy is, and that's what the whole movie is really about. And I really like that theme when it comes to a war movie. It feels more fresh than just being like, oh, we're the good guys, feel bad for the good guys because war is a horrible place to be. Because it's definitely part of it as well, but just felt like there was a lot more depth to the characters, and there was a lot more thought put into kind of the morality when it comes to the soldiers in this war, in the Vietnam War, which is a war that, by the way, I don't know heaps about, but I do know that like the whole idea kind of the Vietnam War, like in retrospect, was that the Americans were in over their heads because it was an environment that they weren't familiar with. It was against an army that was stronger than they once predicted, and it just turned out to be a lot worse off for them than they were first intending. And this movie does a fantastic job of showing how terrifying the situation can be, but also humanizing both sides. It shows just villagers in Vietnam who weren't soldiers, who were just the normal people living at that time. And I really appreciate that aspect of the movie. Like it makes everybody feel more human. It's not just good, bad. There's more depth to it. Anyway, the point is, I'd never seen Platoon. I thought it was fucking great. I was astonished that it brought something that I hadn't seen before. I wasn't expecting that kind of thing. I knew it was a war movie. I knew a bit about it, but not much, and it really blew me away. There's a reason this movie is a classic. I guess you don't need me to tell you because this movie is like, 30-something years old or something? But here we are. It's great. I guess that's all I have to say. So cool. Goodbye. Do the things. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Those are the things. Do them. Okay, goodbye.